We'll just keep the train rolling. So we got Sergio coming up next. He came all the way from Singapore. He told me he used to work for financial services. Now he works for a cool startup, Pivotal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So my talk is continuous delivery and why everyone should do it. I think by now this is an outdated topic, and hopefully it's just going to be a reminder for you guys. So everyone is doing, and especially those who are invited at this conference. Continuous delivery is about one important concept. It's all about time. Can you do releases every week, every day, every hour? How confident you are about your new hire doing commits? How are you confident about your team releasing new features? So if you can do it on a cycle, that's great. And then you have all this cycle where you still need to gather requirements, have to do your design, implement, verify, and then do maintenance, which usually takes 6 to 9 months. But ultimately, it's all about what is in the industry. So if you look at this chart where you have the Unicorn Club, you see that on the right side, you have a very condensed billionaires club. So you have, at the order of hundreds of companies that hit the billion mark. So what they are doing right, this show Silicon Valley, they are doing, they are software. So they are continuously delivering value. And this is something that we should do it in every industry. And every industry is becoming a software business. Usually I give this example to all the financial services. It's about Wealthfront, which is disrupting the wealth management. But by itself, Wealthfront is being disrupted by another startup, which is Betterment, which is doing better continuous delivery. So you have choices. One would be that you would hire someone else, like Pivotal Labs, who on their first task would build you a CI/CD pipeline, and then you'll get started and build on that foundation. The second, that would be to learn, read books. So Gil Keen, The Phoenix Project comes to mind, which is a great book. You will learn about flow, experimentation, and everything how you should have this cycle and gather feedback. And then you start learning topics like agile, right? But it's not all gloomy. So even if you are all agile, you find out that even if it's done, it's not actually done, because then you have a release cycle, which takes you 3 months or 6 months, because there's like a couple of IT folks that you need to go. And then there's DevOps. So DevOps is all, like you can put the lipstick on every part of like what is not working. You'll say like, we'll do it in DevOps, and then it will make it work. And of course, it's all about architecture. Even if you're doing agile DevOps, you find out that the architecture is very important, and then you look at all this mapping, like how it should look like on the whiteboard in the ivory tower, and then in the reality is this mess, this spaghetti code. And then how many of you folks heard about Gartner bimodal? So this is the seesaw, and this is what happens when you are looking for that right balance. Don't try it. And Rube Goldberg machine, which is a self-operated napkin, is a good example of why you shouldn't automate everything just for the sake of it. So you need to keep in mind a few basic principles like continuous integration. So continuous integration is a simple mechanism where you integrate the work from your development into the main line, and then you just check if it works, if it passes the pipeline. That's it. It's as simple as that. And if you really want to go with continuous delivery, then you need to understand that there's like pillars. It's not one answer. There's no secret sauce. You have to get all these 3 parts coming together. And more importantly, you need to involve real humans where you need to gather feedback. So this is a circle of code where we call it Pivotal. So you start with an idea, you write the story, you develop the code, you deploy the code, and then you build a pipeline, and you keep iterating, getting the feedback. And then if you look, this is actually the Pivotal way. So you use all these icons, which are Pivotal products, a little bit biased. So you have Tracker as a good way to keep track of your stories. You have Spring, which is an awesome framework to build your microservices. You have PCF, and then you have Concourse. And why it's important for continuous delivery is that you need to keep in mind that this day will never happen again. So that's why you should always do something great with the amount of hours that you have. So ultimately, as a developer, you have this awesome haiku, which is, here's my source code, run it in the cloud for me, I do not care how. And obviously, OnSit does it so much better than me. And that's all. These are my credentials. I'm based in Singapore. I work for Pivotal. I love Spring and DevOps. Let's catch up.